And one person asked, what was it like working with Michael Landon on set?
I think we knew we were in the presence of a very unusual person right away. I mean, he had that thing when you say somebody walks into the room and has the 5,000 watt smile lights up there. He really did. So you knew you were in the presence of something special. But when you look at the fact that he was writing the show and producing the show and starring in the show and directing the show and doing all of that, and casting the show, all of us go, when Michael decided that we're in the show, to the point he would sometimes nearly get in trouble because he'd say, "That's it, I want this person, you're hired." And the producer was like, we have to like talk to their agent, make a deal, speak to the producers. And he was just like, "No, I know what I want. I know what I want." And this was an amazing phenomenon. And he was so funny and so energetic and so driven. It was really, really amazing. It was not like I haven't known anyone like that before since.
I don't think anyone worked harder at this to make it work. I mean, Michael, for the 9+ years that he was involved with this, really devoted his life to it in so many ways, and used his life experience to help drive the storytelling. You know, there are so many great stories about how Michael would sit in his office with a group of writers, and they're trying to crack a story, and he would have these moments where he would sort of look up, and the room would get very quiet, and he'd turn his chair perhaps away from his rotating chair, and there'd be silence in the room for like 5 minutes or something. And then the chair would turn around and Michael would spin the entire story in, like, he would lay it out, and everyone is taking notes and filling in but he had this wonderful way of connecting the story that they were telling to something that for him was very real. And so it had this ring of authenticity to it when he would tell a story. And writers can be very judgmental about what's being told. Well, people were just there and embracing this because his vision was so clear. It was just, no one was ever going to question this vision. It was locked down, absolutely solid. And he gave dailies at lunch, first thing 7:30 in the morning on the set, working all night, writing during the day in his director's chair. He'd be writing and handing pages to the assistant director to send back to his secretary, Evie, to type up for the next day. It was constant. It's what he did. And he has a family, he's raising his children, he's doing all this. I just think it was this massive pouring out of energy, because I think he knew without question that he was into something that was timeless and beautiful, and he believed he had absolute belief that it would sustain beyond what we were doing. He just knew it was solid, and it would touch hearts.
Would you both say it's probably one of the greatest things that you've done and been a part of in your careers?
No question.
And we didn't believe it at the time. I mean, that's the thing, is we got it. Oh, this is a good show. Gee, I hope somebody watches it. My father said, no one will watch this. Don't be ridiculous. And Michael knew. And that's the thing. We were all saying, no, if you told us in 50 years this would be happening. But Michael would say, no, they're all going to be watching. He knew this was a thing. But yes, he would be. I remember walking by his dressing room door open. Oh, dressing room door was open. He'd sit there left-handed, with his yellow legal pad scribbling away. And I'm like, aren't you right? Is that like next week's episode? Don't we need to film that soon? Just a tornado of fire. It's like, I did wonder if he ever slept. I was concerned that he never slept, because exactly, he had the family and all of this and the show and the writing. At lunchtime, he's watching the dailies and editing. And I'm like, is there a stopping point in any of this madness?
Well, look, we can get this word.